Hi, everyone. This is Maziel Sky from the Sword of Light and Truth podcast. And we have our guest speaker, an amazing, extraordinary guest speaker. He's named the Bishop. He goes by the Bishop. And it's really exciting that we have him on this platform. He has a lot of, I would have to say education, but I don't like to use the word education. He has a lot of information that needs to be brought out to the collective that has been hidden knowledge. And so it's called the Freedom Teaching. We're gonna hit that, but also we're hitting more of the urgency, the sense of urgency to come out and bring awareness, and this be our focal point regarding bringing this information forward, so that we're not just giving you disclosure, but we're also giving you solutions to what is happening today. Um, Bishop, are you ready to speak?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate the introduction. Wanted to definitely jump on here with you because there is a sense of urgency that's definitely necessary at the moment, and that's actually what we're going to touch on first. Um, and again, just to let you guys know, again, my name is Bishop. I'm with the Quest for Totality podcast. Sort of Light. We work very close together on a lot of different things, and this is one of our newest ventures as far as bringing you this information and making sure that we're sharing with you direct knowledge as well as an opportunity and a platform to connect with the collective. So what we're looking at right now is an introduction to Kelonic science as a framework for resistance and empowerment. And a lot of times, people are not really understanding what the spiritual war or is really about. Um, it's an unseen war for consciousness. So what that actually means, like I said, a lot of times it's not a church going thing. It's not a religious thing, but there's a covert reality that exists, and the currency is consciousness. So, obviously, you can see on the screen, we are participants in a struggle that operates beyond the range of our five senses. Covert factions utilize advanced technologies to manipulate human perception, suppress our genetic potential, and harvest our loosh, which is our energy. The presentation introduces Kelonic science. You can look this up online: Kelonic mechanics, Kelonic science, the indispensable knowledge required to perceive this manipulation, resist its influence, and reclaim our inherent sovereignty. It is the framework for a fundamental choice between subjugation and empowerment. So if you choose not to remain subjugated, the way that you have to do it for yourself is to reclaim your consciousness. You have to reclaim the choices that you make. You can't continue to accept what the society tells you to do and just do it. Now, the arsenal of perceptual interference, because manipulation is not abstract, it's executed through precise technologies designed to edit our reality. Now, understanding these methods is the first step to neutralizing them. And what they mean by edit our reality is that you can watch a movie, you can watch TV shows. Everybody's familiar with something like Stranger Things, and now you know what a Demogorgon is. Before, you would have never known what that is. So sometimes manipulation doesn't necessarily have to be something that is forced upon you. It's something that you may actually walk yourself into, but now you've opened yourself up to a new paradigm of information or a new paradigm of opportunities that before then you would have never had. So holographic inserts, technology that engineers reality pictures or experiential overlays to induce mass hallucinations, stage contrived events like false miracles and fabricate memories. So a lot of times, on a larger scale, you may see something that was, I don't know, catastrophic, like say 9/11. And, a lot of times I saw someone speaking about this just recently. They said, where did you see it happen? You saw it on TV. Like, there's no one that you've talked to that's actually saw it live. Everyone saw it on TV. And, I'm not saying that it didn't happen or something didn't happen at the towers, but I'm just saying that we've been deceived quite a bit. And, it's very hard to trust the news media and trust things that are given to us. So, you have to to decipher through this interference.
And if I can add something here, Bishop, too, guys, I can actually vouch for events that have happened, but it didn't happen in the way that what he's saying is it didn't happen in the way that it was presented to us. I was there during 9/11. I saw the smoke. That's all I saw was the smoke when it came down. My sister was a first responder. Half her team passed away. My brother-in-law too. But it wasn't like people actually saw the event in the way they described it or the way it was portrayed in the TV, in the videos that were presented to you. So this is what the bishop is coming from when he's speaking about this information. It's all about presentation. It's about also CIA operatives and so forth. There's a reason this happened, and people don't like to hear it, but the reason is your own government, your own country did this to their own people. And I'll pass the ball back to Bishop.
So the reason, and it's, and we'll touch on further on, who actually did what, because you're correct, when we say its own people, but there's a lot more when it goes into that,
Yes,
we've discussed that too.
a
But
lot more. Hmm.
the,
A
just
lot
to
of
kind of,
players.
man, a lot of players, but just to kind of keep with the, I guess as far as the perceptual interference, there's something that's actually called frequency fences, and everyone's actually familiar with the largest frequency fence. It's actually called the firmament, but they don't know that there's other frequency fences that are just kind of around, and that are right in front of us. But these are energetic barriers that scramble human brainwave patterns, blocking access to benevolent ET frequencies in your own soul matrix, effectively sealing perception with the holographic illusion. And a lot of people are like, well, where would this actually be? Why can't I see this? Why can't I see this? You can. And some people actually have jobs that actually help build these things. If you're ever driving down the street and you see a tall radio tower, or you see the 5G towers, or you see, any of the towers that just stand up over top of the tree line, in any city, that's what's actually running the frequency. Those are the
Mhm.
frequency fences. I know that you may not understand that, but that's what's actually creating the barrier. That's what's creating the grid, right in plain sight, right next to you. And that's why you're not supposed to walk up next to it, because it's giving off so much of a, so much voltage, because it's running something that you can't see.
And
uh,
people can test these things. You can. There are devices to test these things, guys. So we'll have more people in the future that will speak about those type of devices because this stuff is running is measurable. Um, Go ahead, Bishop.
these there's, like I said, and it's funny, I'm gonna probably in a later date, because I don't have it ready right now, but I'll show a picture of how the frequencies that that come off of these different grids, how they actually even affect, you can actually see them affect the clouds. You can sometimes see the waves through the clouds. So it's just it's it's right in front of us, but you just have to know what you're looking for. So again, like I said, it's being able to see through, what you think it is, or what you've been told it is. And then obviously the last one that we're looking at here is the force matrix transplants. The ultimate goal of soul robbing, disconnecting humans from their original soul matrix and linking them to a false collective consciousness, turning them to biological puppets. That's actually what the entire goal is, and that's what we're fighting against, and why it sometimes it seems so hard to wake people up, because some people have already turned into puppets, and some people, you know, are not real people anyway. They're just playing a role. Um, Now, our agenda is actually written in our genes. It's written in our DNA. And this is what we talk about. People say that they're star seeds, or that they're, indigos, or that they're different things like that. They've either felt this thing, or they've received some sort of, information, or sometimes, they're just talking. But at the same time is, these things are true. The unenlightened Zeta factions seek not to just control our minds, but to rewrite our biology. Their agenda has two primary objectives that target the human genome. One is genetic digression, actively attempting to digress the human genome to prevent the activation of our full evolutionary potential. The goal is to keep humanity biologically limited and easier to control. The other is hybridization and exploitation, create hybrid races for planetary repopulation and resource exploitation using manipulated human genetics as a template. At the heart of this conflict is our dormant 12-strand DNA potential, the silicate matrix. They seek to suppress what we are meant to become. Now, we've already, and she's already probably touched on this and told you guys, or she may not have, but we're past this. So what we're teaching you about, and we're sharing these things with you, is that a lot of people still need to kind of catch up, but um, we've done a lot of work, and there's a lot of work that's actually been done. It's actually kind of opened up a new door, and we'll get there. So, but just stay enlightened and stay tapped in. And again, like I said, you can definitely look this up. It's just Keylonic Science. It's the master key to reality. Helps you learn, and it's like I said, it's a language of light, sound, symbols, and energy. It's a foundational framework for understanding the mechanics of consciousness and the blueprint of reality itself. Um, so we'll definitely be able to share some things with you guys if you guys were looking at, wanting to be able to take a look at any of these documents, or if you have any questions. Obviously, I'm always available to speak. But I'll go ahead and I'll pass it back to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bishop, for that. So I wanted everyone to get to meet the Bishop, see what's coming. We're going to go live on Friday at 11:30. We're going to be live, and we'll be diving deeper into this. We're going to be disclosing a lot of information and also assisting with those solutions. So, is there anything else you wanted to say, Bishop, or we're going to tie this up right now? We're
No,
good?
I think we're good. If, like I
Good.
said, if anybody has any questions or if they're looking for me, you can always find me on Quest for Totality on Substack or on TikTok on the Bishop the Great.
Yes, guys, please follow him. I'm going to put his information and tag him on this so that you can follow him through his social media and his Substack. There's a lot of key information he has in there for your evolution and to really get the tools that you need to continue as the matrix is falling apart and it's already imploding, to get on the timeline that's anchored already. That's a higher timeline. All right. We'll speak soon. Thank you. Logging off, Naziel Sky.